Thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. I am your co-host, Sarah. Joining me, as always, is Tate. We have a great show for you today. We will be covering Dan Hurley's decision to not coach for the Lakers. We'll be talking about Game 2 between the Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. Caitlin Clark not going to the Olympics this year. In segment 4, we'll be talking about a model's awkward experience at Disneyland. And then in segment 5, make sure you stick around for that because we will be talking about an Edmonton Oilers fan who went viral with unexpected results. As we get started, I would like to remind you to please like and subscribe to the show. Also, we do get a number of questions and comments that come in during the show. If you would like to go to gsmcpodcast.net, you can leave a tip or a donation. That will ensure that we see your question. It will put it at the top of our list. Again, that is gsmcpodcast.net for questions and comments. We love to engage with those. Tate, how are you doing?
Good morning, Miss Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
All right. We had a long weekend, and now we're about to dive into the show, so I'm excited about that.
I had, it's been one of those mornings. It hasn't been bad. It hasn't been good. It's been like neutral chaos.
Neutral chaos. That's a weird
or
one.
Chaotic neutral. You know, you see those diagrams and they've got like 9 different squares. I'll show you sometime.
Okay, I don't know neutral chaos. That's a new one for
neutral.
me.
I'll find it for you. I'm probably saying it wrong and remembering something else, but yeah.
All right.
Let's go ahead and start talking about our first segment. And I need to turn this one off and the new one on. Dan Hurley, the esteemed coach of the University of Connecticut's men's basketball team, has declined a lucrative offer from the Los Angeles Lakers to become their head coach. Hurley, who has led UConn to consecutive national championships, chose to remain at the university, turning down a 6-year, $70 million contract from the Lakers, according to CBS Sports and ESPN. Hurley's decision to stay with UConn underscores his commitment to the program and its players. In a statement, he expressed pride in the championship culture established at Connecticut and emphasized the team's focus on continued improvement and bonding over the summer. UConn Athletic Director David Benedict echoed this sentiment, praising Hurley's contributions and loyalty. With Hurley out of the running, the Lakers are expected to revisit their initial candidates for the coaching position, ESPN broadcaster J.J. Redick and New Orleans Pelicans assistant James Borrego. Redick, who has no prior coaching experience, has been touted as a potential transformative figure akin to Pat Riley. He currently hosts a podcast with Lakers star LeBron James, which has reportedly strengthened his candidacy. Historically, college coaches transitioning to the NBA have faced challenges. Over the past 3 decades, 11 college coaches have moved to the NBA without prior head coaching experience, amassing a combined record of, somebody counted this, 1,483 to 1,497 losses. Despite some successes, such as Brad Stevens and Billy Donovan, only Larry Brown has won championships at both levels. Hurley, who has openly discussed the possibility of an NBA career, cited burnout as a potential reason for leaving the college scene in the future. His current success at UConn ensures that NBA opportunities will likely continue to arise. The Lakers, meanwhile, continue their search for a head coach capable of leading the team to glory. The position became vacant following the firing of Darvin Ham after 2 seasons. Despite the presence of superstars LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the Lakers were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs this season, although they reached the Western Conference Finals the previous year. The Lakers' coaching job is one of the most high-profile positions in North American sports. Hurley's rejection is a significant moment as the team must now pivot back to Redick and Borrego. This decision will impact the Lakers' strategy, particularly concerning LeBron James, who is contemplating his future with the franchise. All right, Tate, as a Lakers fan and as a podcast host, give me your thoughts.
Okay. I'm a little surprised by this one. This one surprised me. I thought this is the perfect job to take for Dan. I thought this would be that kind of job where it's a big, high-profile job. It's a legacy-defining job where you could literally be LeBron James's last professional coach ever. So the legacy, when you talk about LeBron James, you're part of that legacy, and I thought that would be a drawing factor. But then the fact that LeBron would only be there for a couple of years, let's say maximum 3 years, many suspect it'll be less than that. But then you have time to kind of build the team in your image. So I thought that was another factor. And then the last factor why I thought Dan Hurley would come is the fact that the landscape of college basketball has changed dramatically. First off, the attention that men's college basketball get has gone down quite substantially. Two, in the world of transfer portals and name, image, and likeness, it has become a lot harder to be a coach at the collegiate level. And a lot of coaches have talked about how it's a lot of spend more time keeping your players focused and keep recruiting your players throughout the year to make sure they don't leave you. And also trying to figure out, how do I get more money for my players? Instead of what Dan Hurley is great at, which is the X's and O's. And so I thought this would be the perfect place for him to go, a high-profile job, being one of the highest-paid coaches in basketball. I thought these were all things that would make it, attractive for him to switch. Now, there's a different world out there on the negative side. His family lives in that area, and they love that area. So I've heard people talk about happy wife, happy life. There's a lot of talk that the wife doesn't really want to go. And that means leaving that area and going to the total opposite side of the country in LA. So that was one of the big things, is uprooting your family. Do you want to do that? Two, I cannot lie. As much as I am a Lakers fan, there's a lot of prestige with being the Los Angeles Lakers coach. But when you look at the Lakers over the last decade, they haven't been able to keep coaches. Coaches haven't stayed there very long. Even when you go there and you win a championship, you're done a year, 2 years later. So the fact that the Lakers have had kind of like a revolving door at coach, I thought that was another factor which really hurt them. I think Lakers isn't one of the more wealthier franchises. I would have liked, I know they offered him, $70 million. But there's been, if you really wanted him, you thought he was going to be that guy, I think you should have given him a little bit more and added a couple more years. Because for having a guy who's won back-to-back national championships, uproot his family that doesn't want to leave, you're going to have to give him an offer that he can't refuse. And that could be that $120 million deal, 7, 8, 9 year type contracts, so that he knows he's going to be the Lakers coach after LeBron. He knows no matter what happens, and when you have a contract like that, that's a long, lengthy contract, hey, the players know this guy isn't a short timer. He's going to be here. Either it's his way or no way, especially after LeBron leaves. And so that a contract that gives him that cachet that he needs. I think the Lakers kind of lowballed him a little bit, where they should have went in and tried to make him the highest paid coach with the longest tenured contract. That, especially when you knew he's coming off of back-to-back national championships, and his family's the East Coast family. In order to get someone to give up an amazing situation in a place that they absolutely love, you had to make it a deal that he couldn't refuse. And the Lakers didn't do that. They made a deal, and they kind of, the whole concept of, they didn't go all in, they went partially in. And I think it cost them. And now they're going back, and I fully suspect that it's going to be JJ Redick that's going to be the new coach now. Which I don't know. This whole thing about JJ Redick being the next Pat Riley, I don't know about that. Pat Riley is one of the most legendary coaches, general managers in the history of basketball. Right? You could say Steve Nash. At one point in time, people looked at Steve Nash as a great on-the-court player, but didn't transition well to the coaching ranks. Magic Johnson, one of the great players of all time, did not transition well to the coaching ranks. So I don't know if I'm not going to go as far as to say that JJ Redick is the next Pat Riley, but I think that's who they're going to lean towards, someone that has a great relationship with LeBron, someone that they kind of would respect, because what they really want to do is keep LeBron. I like the Stevens concept. I think they should go for, still stick in that concept, stick with a kind of a coach, a younger coach that can build a franchise for the new Los Angeles Lakers, the future of the Lakers after LeBron. That's what I would like to see them go with, is that type of a coach.
All right. Well, we will be watching this and seeing who the next Lakers coach will be. We are going to go ahead and take our first break of this segment. When we come back, we'll be talking about Game 2 between the Mavericks and the Celtics and what is next going forward. You're tuned into the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we'll be right back.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In the first segment, we were talking about Dan Hurley's decision to not join the Lakers as head coach. Moving on, sticking with basketball, but moving on to Game 2 between the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. Let me just go ahead and get that set up. Sorry, pardon me.
Yeah.
Clicking on weird things. Give me just a second. Here we go. All right, there we go.
Having some technical difficulties.
Well, when you push something and it doesn't push, okay. The Boston Celtics overcame a stellar performance from Luka Dončić to win Game 2 of the NBA Finals, defeating the Dallas Mavericks 105-98 and taking a commanding 2-0 series lead. Despite Doncic's 32-point triple-double, which included 11 rebounds and 11 assists, the Celtics' balanced attack and clutch defensive plays proved decisive. The game was closely contested in the first half, with Doncic scoring 23 points and Kyrie Irving adding 10 by halftime. However, Boston still managed to lead 54-51 at the break, despite poor three-point shooting, 3 of 15. The Celtics turned up their defensive intensity in the third quarter, capitalizing on Dallas turnovers to extend their lead to 83-74. Peyton Pritchard's remarkable three-pointer capped the quarter, further solidifying Boston's control. In the fourth quarter, the Celtics defense continued to dominate, and their three-point shooting improved. Derrick White's critical block on P.J. Washington in the final minute stymied a potential Dallas comeback. Jrue Holiday led the Celtics with 26 points and 11 rebounds, while Jaylen Brown contributed 21 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals. Jason Tatum, despite struggling with his shot, added 18 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. White also had a strong performance, finishing with 18 points and 2 crucial blocks. The Mavericks supporting cast struggled, with Irving only scoring 6 points in the second half and missing all 3 of his three-point attempts. Dallas also faltered at the free throw line, converting just 16 of 24 attempts compared to Boston's 19 of 20. The series now shifts to Dallas for Game 3, where the Mavericks will need to address their shooting woes and free throw struggles to stay competitive. With a historic 86.1% success rate for teams leading 2-0 in the finals, the Celtics are in a strong position. However, the potential absence of Kristaps Porziņģis, who left the game late with a possible calf injury, could impact Boston's dynamics in the upcoming games. 2-0, Tate, what does Dallas have to do to stay in this?
Well, the first thing they got to do is they got to win this next game. I mean, because if they lose this next game, it is over. I mean, this thing just wrap it up. Right now, with the way things are going, I've been looking at this as I got Dallas winning. I mean, Dallas winning the next game, losing the next 2 for a gentleman's sweep. That's a shame to say that, because I feel like Dallas is good enough to compete with the Celtics, but have just come in incredibly flat. The key to the Dallas Mavericks making a comeback is you have to get more out of Kyrie. 6 points in the second half is absolutely, it can't happen. There's no excuse for that to happen. In order for Dallas to make a comeback, you're going to need the two-headed monster of Luka and Kyrie to perform. If Kyrie performs and Luka doesn't, it's over. If Luka keeps going the way he's going, but Kyrie doesn't perform, it's over. Also, I don't know what has happened to Dallas. Throughout these playoffs, Dallas has been, and even ending the year, Dallas has been one of the best defensive teams in basketball. And I feel like it's kind of gone out the window against the Celtics. And I don't understand why. Their defensive slid off, and their offensive output has dramatically dropped off. When you look around here and you look at these numbers and you say, Luka, who has been doing everything under the sun for Dallas, Luka is the highest scoring player in the finals, okay? But the second highest, third, fourth, fifth, sixth highest scorer, they're all Celtics. Celtics are outperforming the Dallas Mavericks. Outside of Luka, the entire team is outperforming them. Kyrie should be right up there, at least getting 25 a game. You're gonna have nights like that in order for them to make a comeback. Now, I do see and hope that them going home, the first 2 games were in Boston after a long layoff. Now they get to go home cooking, get back into the zone, get back into the right mindset, and then make a run. It definitely 100% helped that Kristaps Porziņģis may not be playing, leaving with the calf strain. That is a key, because Kristaps has shown to be a major factor in why the Celtics are dominating the Dallas Mavericks. And so with Kyrie not performing well and Luka Dončić adding Luka, it's just been too much. going forward, Kyrie has to perform, needing at least 25, and Luka being out. That's the reason why I lean toward Dallas winning game 3. But then from there, what happens? But if they for some reason they lose game 3, it could be a sweep. And that's so excited about these finals and expecting so much, especially with Dallas's. I'm looking at it like, okay, Dallas's defense. It's been one of the best, if not the best, in the NBA. The latter part of the season and into the playoffs. Kyrie and Luka are playing together. They're finally clicking. I thought, okay, this is going to be a 7-game series. This is anyone's series, and it's been anything but that. It has just been, the Celtics have been a better. It's like the Celtics have the two big stars, or you had Luka. Porziņģis as the third. The Celtics have just been the better team offensively, defensively. They're the deeper team. It's been a blowout pretty much. And if the Mavericks do not figure out some way to win game 3, this is going to be a sweep. I'm hoping that being home, that kind of energizes a lot of teams. And so to make this a series, because if they go down, this is over.
Jrue Holiday had a good performance this game. Do you think if he can sustain that level of performance and Kristaps Porziņģis is not in this next game, or how does that affect the future?
Well, Jrue Holiday, right now, Jrue Holiday has a chance to be Finals MVP. It's one of those things where the Celtics are just balling. They're from 1 through 5. The Celtics have just been the better team. I don't know what you can do if Dallas cannot figure out how to kind of bolster what they've been doing, improve. The first thing is defensively. They have to crack down defensively. And then they have to figure out a way to get Kyrie. If you don't do those two things, there's not a matchup there that the Celtics will exploit them in every aspect of the game. It just seems like everywhere the Celtics are out coaching them. Their stars are outperforming them. Defensively, they're shutting them down. It feels like they've adopted an approach that we're going to let Luka get his, but nobody else is. And it's an effective approach because Luka has the most points in this playoffs. But what good is it doing them for Luka to go off, but nobody else to help? And they keep dropping games. And so that's the reason why a team like this that's part of the reason why Kyrie is there. He's a veteran presence that's supposed to step up, has experience in finals, have experience in hitting clutch shots. Kyrie needs to be that leader that everyone rallies behind. And he's been everything but that in the finals. He's been that in the playoffs, throughout the Western Conference Finals and throughout the Western Conference playoffs. Kyrie has been a pivotal part of the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas has to figure out, how do we get Kyrie involved so that we can turn things around. This game, the saying, nothing's happened until a team loses a game at home. Well, it's 80-something percent, 82% of, if you go down
86.1%.
86.1%. they've lost the first 2 games, and it's an 86.1% chance that the Celtics are going to win this. They have no choice. They have to put everything on the line. It's do or die for them. If they don't win this one, you think it's bad down 2-0. How bad is it down 3-0?
Well, that's what we found out last a week or so ago, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and take our second break of this episode. When we come back, we'll be still talking about basketball, but this time Caitlin Clark not making this year's Olympic team. So stick around. You are tuned into the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube. Absolutely.
Welcome back to the very confusing let me take care of that. Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In the first segment, we talked about Dan Hurley not going to the LA Lakers. In the last segment, we talked about Game 2 between the Boston Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks. And now we are switching to segment 3. Let me get that set up quickly. Give me just 1 second. Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark has reportedly been left off the final 12-player USA women's basketball team roster for the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. The decision was confirmed by USA Today's Christine Brennan and The Athletic. The expected roster, led by Cheryl Reeve, Minnesota Lynx head coach and president of basketball operations, includes notable names like Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, and Aja Wilson. Despite being one of 14 players invited to the U.S. national team's final training camp, Clark did not make the cut. This decision was made by a committee comprising women's college basketball coaches Dawn Staley, Simone Augustus, Delisha Milton-Jones, Jennifer Rosati, who's president of the Connecticut Sun and head coach of the U.S. women's 3-on-3 Olympic team, and WNBA head of league operations Bethany Donovan. The finalized roster features a mix of players with Olympic experience in 5-on-5 and 3-on-3 competitions, with Alyssa Thomas, Kalia Copper, and Sabrina Ionescu set to make their Olympic debuts. The dominance of the USA women's basketball team in previous Olympic tournaments is underscored by their 9 gold medals out of 12 tournaments, including 7 consecutive victories since Atlanta 1996. The absence of Clark from the Olympic roster has sparked discussions about its potential impact on viewer engagement. As argued by Brennan, Clark's inclusion could have mirrored the increased interest and coverage seen in the WNBA. Her absence may leave American sports fans questioning the decision and its implication for the team's visibility. The U.S. women's national team is scheduled to play Team WNBA in the league's All-Star game in Phoenix on July 20th before traveling to London for an exhibition game against Germany on July 23rd. Olympic competition begins on July 29th with Team USA facing Japan, Belgium, and Germany in the opening round play. All right, Tate, Caitlin Clark continuing to be in the news and, for lots of interesting reasons.
The thing about it is Caitlin Clark is in the news for all the wrong reasons. And this is no slam on Caitlin. Right. Caitlin has been nothing but professional. But there's been so many things around her that doesn't deal with her on the court. Mm-hmm. Now, with that being said, there's no way they should have left Caitlin Clark off the court, off this team. First off, you go back the last 5 Olympics. the number one pick in the draft has always been on the women's Olympic basketball team, with the exception of Caitlin Clark. Now, that alone makes it a noteworthy event that she wasn't picked on the team. I thought that was crazy. The second thing is, and make sure you understand, I am not saying that Diana Taurasi should not be on the Olympic team. That is not what I'm saying. But Caitlin Clark has better numbers than Diana Taurasi. Points, rebounds, assists. No matter every major metric, Caitlin Clark is outperforming Diana Taurasi. No one would question that Diana Taurasi doesn't deserve to be on the team. Traditionally, outside of that top starting unit, you traditionally you bring that aging vet with you on that Olympic team, and you bring that upcoming star. And I always, the best example is looking at the Dream Team. You brought Kristen Leitner with you. He was the rookie phenom that everyone thought was going to be great. I personally would have had Shaquille O'Neal on there, but they brought the young guy. And then they brought Larry Bird, who had major back issues and should not have been on the Dream Team because of his health issues, but his legacy deemed him to be on there. Same with this. Diana Taurasi should be on the Olympic team, and so should Caitlin Clark. Not to mention that Caitlin Clark, wherever she's selling out, they're moving WNBA games from their normal arena to NBA arenas because they're selling out so many games. I think the average WNBA game has about 6,000, and I think it's about 16,000 when Caitlin Clark comes to town. So if it's truly about, hey, we need to get more eyes on the team, then Caitlin Clark should be out there. People are tuning in to see Caitlin Clark, but learning about a number of other players. I was telling Sarah this earlier. I saw it was the Las Vegas Aces versus the LA Sparks. In the past, I wouldn't even watch that game. It was not a game that I would even think, oh, I'm going to watch a WNBA game. But because of Caitlin Clark, I knew some of the players that were on both of these two teams. So I actually watched the game because I learned more about some more of the WNBA players by following and covering Caitlin Clark. So same with Olympic basketball. By having Caitlin Clark there, you're tuning in to see Caitlin Clark, but then you get the chance for the common basketball fan to learn about Diana Taurasi or some of the other players that are playing, and finding out how amazing they are and how great, because the WNBA game is solid. But Caitlin Clark brings those eyes, and it helps lift the entire league up. Overall, since Caitlin Clark's coming to the WNBA, overall television ratings, overall ticket sales, overall jersey sales have gone through the roof. They have skyrocketed. So by having her on the team, it only helps the team. And I know there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of things slipped out that some of the veterans didn't want her on the team because if she was on the team and she wasn't getting a lot of playing time, then it would cause a conflict. That should not be a reason to keep her off because you're worried about how they're going to cover it. Ultimately, it's about making the game and lifting up the game that has struggled for years. Every single year, the WNBA has lost money. Caitlin Clark comes to the WNBA, they're going to make money for the first time in the history of this league. That's the Caitlin Clark effect. I don't care that she's on a bad team. When you're the number one pick, because that's one of the things people say, she's on a bad team. Well, when you're the number one pick in the draft, you tend to go to a bad team. But she's not a bad player. She is one of the top 14 scorers in the WNBA. She leads all rookies in points. She leads all rookies in assists. That's a woman that's performing, who deserves to be on the Olympic team, and I don't see how they can keep her off. Now, Sarah, as a woman who may not be the biggest WNBA fan, but you've been a Caitlin Clark fan, how do you feel about the fact that she was left off?
I mean, it seems if you're wanting visibility for women's sports, this would be a really good way to do it. And I do think that people are going to wonder why she was left off this team. And unfortunately, it just it's probably going to leave a bad taste in people's mouths, because they do want to know, well, why now? Plus, I feel bad for Caitlin, not because she was left off, although I do, but because this young woman has been in the league for about 30 seconds. And every question she has to answer seems to be about some kind of controversy, not of her doing.
Not of her, and that's the whole point. Not of her doing.
She's a young woman who probably is learning, baptism by fire. She's learning on the fly, but there's no amount of PR training that could have prepared her for all of these things. She said she's not disappointed that she's not on the team, and that's a very classy response.
That's called keeping it classy.
Absolutely.
But I'm willing to bet you, I'd
be disappointed if I was left out.
I would love to hook her up to a lie detector test and some truth serum, because she'd be like, these jokers are targeting me. I'm getting treated wrong. I'm the golden goose. All of that would come out. Good thing we don't have that, because that'd be some great television right away.
But not for good reasons.
Right. I don't understand what is going on with the WNBA. The players, the organization, I think they're making bad decisions. This is this pivotal moment in the league, and I think they're failing. They should be protecting her a lot more, because people are tuning in to see her, giving her more of an opportunity to get on television. Her team is not good, ladies and gentlemen. Her team is not good. But know what is good? That Olympic team is good. Giving her a chance to go to the Olympics and shine for her country would be good. When you're playing, your first game is against Japan. No, she doesn't have to be a starter. She could be 6th, 7th, 8th man woman off the bench. But when you're playing games like against Japan, she's going to get time, because the U.S. is so much superior to Japan that there's going to be some playing time for her. So I think it's a mistake that they're not doing it, because it's a great opportunity to put her put her under a very positive light, get her to get out there, help lift up the game. And some of these players that haven't been as positive or embrace her as much, well, guess what? Some of these women, some of the biggest names in women's basketball are on that Olympic team. Guess what? Getting Caitlin there to get to know her, meet her, make her realize, you know what, she's a good person. Maybe we shouldn't be targeting her. Maybe we should be appreciative that she's bringing so many eyes to the court, and maybe cut down on some of the jealousy, because right now I think there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of hating going on. And I know it's not popular. It's not popular to say that, and I'm sure people will be upset with me for saying it, but that's what I think. I'm not going to apologize about it. Caitlin is good for women's basketball, because there are a lot of women who are playing this game who deserves the attention, and she helps bring that spotlight to them.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I'm still looking forward to the Olympics, but it's a little little disappointing.
And the whole thing about people talking about they're not going to watch because Caitlin's not there. I'm going to watch. I'm going to go and I'm going to support the women no matter what, for the record.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to take our next break of this episode. When we come back, switching to some of our oddities segments. The first one is about a model interesting experience at Disneyland. I'm just going to leave it at that. You are tuned into the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In the last segment, we were talking about Caitlin Clark being left off of the Olympic roster for this year. Still looking forward to the Olympics. Would love to go to Paris. Although Paris in July and August, very hot. Let's go ahead and turn to our segment, our oddities segment. Tate, have you ever been to Disneyland?
I have been to Disney World.
Okay, I've never been to either.
That's crazy.
Crazily enough, considering that I lived in California for a long time, but I've never been to either. So Gracie Vaughn, a model with a rather large booty, as you can see.
She has some great assets, let's just say.
She found herself at the center of attention, but not necessarily in a good way recently. She claims that park goers at Disneyland were giving her nasty looks, and she believes that she was being bullied because of her unique physique. The model says that she was just minding her own business, enjoying the magical atmosphere of the theme park, when she started to notice people staring at her. At first, she thought they were just admiring her curves, but as the looks turned more judgmental and harsh, she realized that something was off. Sharing photographs and videos from her time at the park, Gracie explained she was trying to have fun with her family, but her day was, quote, ruined. Why? Because people were making fun of the size of her body. In the video, she continues, and the worst part is that they teach their kids to do the same. But what exactly did other Disneyland guests do? According to the TikToker, they kept, quote, taking photos of her alongside and giving her bad looks all the time. Or they just kept laughing at me, she continued. Gracie says, I know you may think I am exaggerating and that it's my fault for being a big girl, but this is literally what God gave me, and I have to embrace every single part of me. Even if you have a condition or look different, you shouldn't get bullied for the way you look. I would never talk negatively about someone else's appearance. Respect is key. Gracie argues Disneyland should be a safe space where everyone feels comfortable, and at the end of the day, she was just existing and wanted to have fun like everyone else. She concludes, if you don't like something, stop hating and keep it for yourself. It's not taken long for people to, of course, go to the comments in support of the TikToker. One user said, we need more people like you. You're so beautiful. Words of respect. Another said, you are beautiful. It's really sad how people can be so mean. A third commented, very few have this. It's natural for the less fortunate to be jealous. Let them be jealous. You just keep uploading your beautiful videos. And a fourth wrote, I wish everyone could just mind their business, but confidence is key. As for the parkgoers at Disneyland, Gracie hopes they learn to be more accepting and open-minded toward people who may look different from them. After all, isn't Disneyland supposed to be the happiest place on earth? Now, Tate, I know you have thoughts. I would stare. I mean, that's just not something that you see very often. So I would probably stare. I'm not going to support body shaming, and I don't know that people necessarily needed to go beyond, but that catches your attention. Let me just say that.
Okay. I could be wrong. But she said her God-given
natural assets. Yeah, that's what she said.
I'm calling shenanigans on that. If she is born that way, and I'm talking about from the top to the ample bottom,
yeah,
then I apologize in advance. But it looks like she had a lot of enhancements, let's just say.
Sure, which is her prerogative.
And this is a mean thing to say, but when I first of all, she's absolutely beautiful. She is curvy. Curvy is in. I think she's in, and it looks quite impressive. That's a little more than I can handle. I mean, but she looks like a centaur to me. You understand? Yes, I said it. That's what she looked like, a centaur. Like her hind quarters is down the street. She's packing that much heat back there. That's what I'm saying. She's a beautiful woman.
She is beautiful.
She is a beautiful woman. And if that's what she wants to do to her body, by all means, go for it. But if you look at the way she was dressed, and I'm not saying you're asking for it by the way you dress, but you look at the way she's dressed, it's going to attract attention. You can dress any kind of way you want to, but it's going to catch attention. If I'm listening to It's a Small World After All, looking at the teacup ride, and she walks by, I'm looking. I may not be rude like some of the other people, and that's the only the sad part about it is that people were rude to her. But if you've done something like this to your body, it's meant to attract attention. I believe she's an Instagram model or one of the social media model.
Sure. Yeah.
So she knows her body is attracting attention. I call shenanigans on the fact that is all natural. I don't buy it, not even for a second. She claims she's a big girl, and I'm sure maybe she was a big girl. But I think there was some surgery that was included to shape up some of the curves on her. Now, absolutely beautiful. But first off, if you're at Disney World, kids are going to notice. Kids, you see the picture.
Kids have no filter.
Kids have absolutely no filter whatsoever. Then guys are going to notice. There isn't I don't care if she walked right in front of Stevie Wonder, who can't see a lick. He going to turn his head and he's going to look. Women are going to look. Sometimes if you're going to do that and you're looking for that attention, you're going to get the good and the bad. And she has to expect that. I don't see it. Does it make it right? I feel bad that she felt uncomfortable. No one should have to feel uncomfortable, but you're gonna notice this. Give me your thoughts as a woman.
You're absolutely gonna notice. I agree that it doesn't seem like that's natural. I mean, there's ways that bodies, plus size women's bodies, tend to grow. Yeah. I've been a variety of sizes in my life, and
they don't grow that way.
They don't tend to. If it is natural, well, wow, but probably not. But the thing is, whether it's natural or not, you are a model, and this is clearly she knows how she looks. She embraces how she looks because she's a model, and she's putting that out there for people to see. So she knows that she's going to attract attention. I do feel it's not good that people were body shaming her. There's never any cause for that. If you see something...
Wait. What's the definition of body shaming, though? Because here's the thing. Is body shaming because they're looking at her and they're noticing her?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yes. If people are actually coming up to her and saying rude things about her body, not acceptable. But if people are noticing her, that's to be expected. My first thought was, I am so lazy about getting my clothes altered. She's not buying anything off the rack.
No.
I was like, I don't have the patience to have every single item of clothing I buy altered to that extent.
Well, I'm looking at her, and I think like she's buying small girl clothes on the top, big girl clothes on the bottom.
Well, no, not even on the top, because she's very well endowed on the top as well.
Which to me, not normal. I'm just saying, I mean, looks amazing, but this whole God-given assets is what she's claiming. I don't buy. I'm sorry. I just don't
either, but I'm not gonna. But like I said, I don't buy it either. But I'm not gonna body shame her about it.
No, if I saw her at Disney World, I would not be like rude to her. I would, but she you can't. How do you not notice her?
I would stare until I caught myself, and I was like, "Crap, you're staring."
Yes.
Just because, wow.
But now, with that being said, people can be mean.
People can be incredibly mean.
Incredibly mean, and
it's one thing. Kids have no filters. Adults, you should know better.
You know, yeah, I could totally see, especially in this new era where people are saying more things and things. So I could see how it ended up being a rough day. It's a tough situation because when you do that to your body, sometimes you love the attention, but there are days that you're like, you know what, I'm with my family and I just don't want that attention. But you can't take those assets and put them in a closet. Those assets are with you. When you get body enhanced like that, you're gonna get noticed everywhere you go.
Which is not always going to be easy, and it looked like in one of the pictures that there were some people behind her taking photos, which I sort of get, but at the same time, don't take pictures of strangers, especially and post them on the internet. That's never cool.
Yeah, no, you can't do that either. You may want to. I can't lie. If I saw her, I may take a snap. It'll be like, you won't even believe this. You know, I mean, it's just human nature. I hate that she felt uncomfortable, but it's kind of part of what she does for a living is draw attention. So sometimes your efforts are rewarded a little too much sometimes. And this is one of those cases where I feel like she was rewarded a little more than what she wanted. I hate that she, like I said, it became a rough situation for her. But, you know, I don't know. I don't
think there's a good answer regardless. There's a dog that just entered our space.
Let's see if I can wrangle.
You dog wrangling at the moment?
I'm going to introduce everybody to my main man, Chalupa Batman.
Chalupa Batman. Little podcast dog.
That's my boy right there, little Chalupa Batman. All right.
Yes. If ever you hear the jingle jangle of callers, it's probably
Chalupa Batman.
At any rate, we're going to take our final break of this episode as Chalupa sneezes behind us. And when we come back, different set of attention. Still a female's body is involved. That's what happened at the Edmonton Oilers games. You are tuned into the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back. Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In the last segment, we were talking about a model's experience at Disneyland. Unfortunately, that was not the best experience of her life. But an Edmonton Oilers fan has made headlines recently for all the wrong reasons, or I don't know, maybe the right reasons, depending on how you look at it. During the NHL Conference Finals win over the Dallas Stars, this diehard fan decided to spice things up a bit by flashing her girl on live television,
like puppies. Like, I just had Chalupa Batman. She decided to show her puppies as well.
Please stop. No, we all know sports fans can get pretty wild, especially when their team is winning. But this lady took it to a whole new level, and guess what? It did not go unnoticed. In fact, a porn site reached out to her with an offer she probably never saw coming, a deal to become a budding star in the adult entertainment industry. A representative of the Porn Dude, an adult website that garners 61 million visitors. Yes, I said Porn Dude. 61 million visitors per month on average, told the outlet that the unidentified woman's breasts were, quote, made for porn, and are offering her a spot on their famous Porn Dude casting set. But Cam Soda, another adult website and solicitor, is also offering the fan up to $100,000 to, quote, show off her chest just as she did the other night, end quote, via streaming. OnlyFans is in the race to sign the fan too, encouraging her to create an account on the platform. The overly excited lady sent social media into meltdown during Friday's Game 5 at Rogers Place in Alberta, Canada. She was initially seen cheering in the crowd before lifting her Oilers jersey to flash her chest, shaking her breasts from side to side prior to dropping her top, looking at the camera and erupting into laughter. The woman's identity had yet to be found, although in an update of 2 days ago, TMZ has reported that she's removed all traces of her social media presence following the viral video. Their report claims that the woman used to have a number of social media accounts, like most people do, and has since deleted every single one of them to keep her identity a secret. Despite the money on the table from some of the adult sites, it seems it's not enough to entice the fan to put herself out into the public eye, more so than she already did. Although there has already been some positives for the mysterious social star since her viral video. Oilers player Evander Kane hinted that he and the rest of the team appreciated her enthusiasm.
Listen, I don't even watch hockey, and now I do. I'm getting me season tickets to the Edmonton Oilers. I got new respect for that team.
Now you'll notice that some of the pictures next to us in the slideshow are a little blurry. But that's because they're all like taken from people's phones, and it's not like they're official photographs of this.
I know the Oilers are losing in the NHL finals, but I am pulling for the Oilers because of this woman. I am an Oilers fan now.
Okay, so
I'm gonna keep it real. Talk about Caitlin Clark bringing eyes to the set. This woman is bringing eyes to the set.
I'm not sure the Oilers are going to use that as their like promotional material, but maybe they're the ones that should have approached her as opposed to Porn Dude. Really, who names their site Porn Dude?
Come to the game. Stay for the entertainment.
Not bad.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And some of these names. What's up with these names? Porn Dude. What's the other one's name?
Cam Soda?
Cam Soda?
What does that even mean?
I don't even know.
I realize I'm not tuned into the porn world, but am I missing something?
Mama, I made it. I work for Cam Soda. No, this is the reason why she deleting her social media. If you had a quality organization caller, maybe you'd get something. The crazy thing is the offers that are coming. There's a bidding war for this woman. And I know they talked about 100,000, but I've heard hundreds of thousands of dollars coming on. And, if depending on what the dollar figures is, Cam Soda, if y'all want me to go topless, I am willing. I am in. Drop me 200,000 and I will go topless on your site. No problem.
Can I just say that I am so grateful that in the days where I was, let's just say, more prone to activities such as this, the internet was not as prevalent as it is now.
Yeah, think about that. She was just having a little fun, and now it's like everywhere. You can't hide from it. Your puppies are everywhere.
Well, and they say she hasn't been identified yet, but people know who she is. It's not like her mom probably hasn't seen these pictures, or her. Oh God, if my dad. My dad was the sweetest man on the planet, but he would have been horrified. Think Mr. Rogers.
So, yes, I get this. I mean, I love that it's very lighthearted. This woman had a moment. Hopefully, she's not getting a lot of heat for it, because I thought it was absolutely awesome.
Well, you see the pictures of her just laughing.
Yeah, she's having a good time. But you hope it wasn't that she was up there not having, tossing back one too many of those natty lights and then did something that she wasn't supposed to do. Because if she did this and she's aware of it, it was awesome. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. But I know that people were looking for her. And the last thing I noticed, they still haven't been able to get in contact with her. But
although somebody knows, because if TMZ knows that she deleted her social media,
they know where she's at. Yes. I just want to know how much has she been offered, because it was hundreds of thousands. And OnlyFans, I've known a few people at OnlyFans. I don't go through OnlyFans. I'm not a subscriber or anything like that. So make sure y'all understand, y'all. But I do know people who have been on OnlyFans, who worked on OnlyFans, and they make some killer cash. I mean, I'm not hating on you. If you can pull that kind of cheddar, just for your God-given assets, more power to you. Seriously, because some of these women, that talk about setting, like the lowest offer was 100,000. Let's say it's $1 million. Do you take it?
Depends on what it is. Now, I mean, I'm probably not going to take anything.
I'm putting mine out there.
I'm not saying absolutely no, but I definitely no to the porn. That would be
no. I'm not doing
the cam soda or whatever the heck they're called.
Cam soda,
like doing her move. That's a little more innocuous. And OnlyFans, if you can control what you're doing, but
you control that.
Maybe, but
listen, they get to $1 million. I am all in. You want me to go topless on an OnlyFans site, ladies and gentlemen? Let me, let a brother know. Drop me a cool meal. $2 million, you get my moons over my hammy.
The tips and donations link we show at the beginning of the episode.
Yes, I would more than happy to. Speaking of cam soda, changing the subject slightly.
Okay.
I was surprised to find out Pepsi is no longer the number 2 soda in the world.
I saw that.
Coke is number 1.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper is now number 2.
Dr. Pepper.
Who are you guys drinking Dr. Pepper? I didn't even know I thought that was like Grandpa's drink. I didn't know that many people were drinking Dr. Pepper.
I drank it in high school only because a friend of mine who had the car that we went cruising around in after school, because that was in the days where you drove around after school, she would buy the soda and she'd get Dr. Pepper, so I wasn't going to argue.
I thought Sprite would be ahead of Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, 7-Up. I thought all those would be ahead of Dr. Pepper. I was not. I was totally surprised.
Especially with those ridiculous commercials they used to have.
Yeah, I know. When's the last time you thought about, popped in your head, you know what, I'm really thirsty. I want me a Dr. Pepper.
Now, granted, we haven't lived in the U.S. for a while, either of us. Do they have new flavors, do you think? I don't know. Because they have cream soda and cherry and something like that.
And I've never had the urge to be like, man, I got to, no. Even if you go to a vending machine, you drop your cash in there, Dr. Pepper's like one of the last things I select.
And usually if you go to a vending machine and they have like 20 options, 5 to 7 are Coke, 5 to 7 are Pepsi, you know?
Yeah. I'm a little stunned by that. Not meaning to change it up, but Cam Soda made me think about the fact that Dr. Pepper had moved into that number 2 slot.
I did see that.
And climbing.
Yeah.
There could be a scenario where the number 1 drink in America is Dr. Pepper, and I just don't understand how.
To them, it's just not my go-to.
Where are these people at, though?
I don't know. Hey, okay, so leave us a comment if you are at the grocery store and you think I want a soda. Is your first choice Dr. Pepper? Let us know.
Yeah, because I just don't know when did that become a thing? Is that a thing since the pandemic? That was one of the side effects from taking the shot. And listen, I'm triple boosted or quadruple boosted, so I'm not hating on the shot or anything. But is that one of the side effects from the shot? You think Dr. Pepper is just tasty as hell? You gotta have it now.
You know how people started making like sourdough starters and doing things because we were all on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Dr. Pepper, why that would be.
Dr. Pepper came out of the lockdown.
I do know. Okay, so you know how we were all doing online shopping,
mm-hmm.
and your shoppers sometimes would replace your items with really random.
That's what it was right there.
Started replacing everybody's regular soda with Dr. Pepper.
And they were like, you know what? And they were like,
nobody's buying these. We have extra.
Wait a minute. Wow, this is actually good. Give me some more of that Dr. Pepper over there. Not that Dr. What is it? What is a step cousin, Mr. Pip?
Mr. Pip? Dr. Pip? Mr. Pip.
Dr. Cousin, Uncle Pip? Whatever.
Uncle Mr. Pip.
Yeah, Uncle Mr. Pip. That's the cheap knockoff of it.
Oh my gosh.
But when you start looking at that, is that what happened? Like they were getting deliveries, and you were expecting. You originally were like, you know what? I want some Mountain Dew, and I want some Diet Pepsi. And someone brought in the Diet Dr. Pepper, and they were like, "Oh, this is it. This hit the spot. This is a little different than everything else."
I think we're onto something.
And that's how it happened, because I don't know when the heck the doctor. If you'd have said name the top 5 sodas in America, I would have went with Pepsi. First I went Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero. That's 1, 2, and 3 right there. Mm-hmm. Then I just said Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Diet, maybe like a Diet Pepsi, a Sprite, So Dr. Pepper would have been way down there. I would have never guessed that. That one kind of threw me for a loop. I know that has nothing to do with a woman at a hockey game showing off her assets.
So I took the segment title down.
What's that old saying of Dr. Pepper? I'm a pepper, you're a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
Be a pepper too.
And then she hit you with the na-na-na-nas.
Full circle. All right. Thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. Your support means a lot to us. So make sure you like and follow the show, and also leave a positive review. That really does help. Also, you can follow the podcast on social media: Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok for more content and updates. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day.
Oilers.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't that great. I don't wanna go to